Hello guys, my name is Ronald. We are playing Dungeon Universalis again. Very welcome to the new subscribers. I've reached an amount of 30 subscribers, which is about 28 more subscribers than I ever could imagine. Very many thanks to you. And today we are going to have a look at the initiative system of Dungeon Universalis. So how do the initiative works if there are new enemies revealed or placed by the dark player. And it's pretty simple, and it's the same techniques as we already know. It's made by tests, and there are not so many rules, but I'm going to make a dedicated video for it because it's an important topic, and I don't want to put it into a long video where you have to seek for it or search the table of contents or whatever. So here's a dedicated video for initiative, and let's start. And I don't want to bore you with any other stuff around. And let's have a look. We are here again with my fellow guys of my real party I'm playing with. Here's Larnak, a small goblin. Here's Croxor, a mighty warrior. Here's the card of the both, Larnak, and Croxor, the reptilian warrior. So these guys are walking around in a dungeon where there's no beginning, but there are two possible exits. We have exploration arrows, and we have a door, a double-sided door. So I will show you both situations, and let's see how the initiative works for it. So we're ignoring safe zones and obstacles and all those things. We're just playing a small scripted demo for it. So let's start with the exploration arrows. The guys are walking down the floor, the corridor, 1, 2, 3, 4. Croxor's only going over here, but Larnak is stepping on the exploration arrow. We don't play an obstacle for this demo, so we're just revealing the new section. So here's a new section. Let's place it here. And depending if we are playing against an artificial dark player or a real dark player, the real dark player could place a card from his hand. The artificial dark player would roll the scenario die. I'd like to roll mine if I can find it. So here's the one. So we roll it. And if we get an encounter icon, we have a 33% chance for it. Then there will be an encounter. So we could draw a card from the encounter deck. It's enemy spotted. We would check the bestiary, which enemies are going to spawn. I'll skip this. Let's say where we have two beautiful barbarian warriors, and they're going to place over here. There's a placement sheet. There are placement rules when playing with an artificial dark player where to put these guys. We are going to have a look in a later video. So, but here's a sneaky preview for it, placing creatures in corridors. So that's how we put him over here. Remembering front and the back. This is the back. When placing the standees, I'll always do it that they are looking to the real side, to the where the heroes are coming from. But we're going to roll initiative, and doing this is easy. We have to do an opposite roll and test for using intelligence. So when playing against the DP, the dark player, the real dark player, the human dark player, whatever you call it, he can place those guys wherever he wants, and he can place he will place one in the next to the heroes, and you always roll initiative against the hero, against the enemy who's next to that hero who revealed the new section. So We are playing against an ADP, so the initiative is always rolled against the enemy with the highest perception. Oh, I told you nonsense. When I said we do an opposite roll using intelligence, that was nonsense. I'm so sorry. We do it by perception. We use our perception value, and intelligence is also used by another thing. Let's do it again. I'm sorry. Please excuse this. This shouldn't happen. Okay, alright. We played against the one with the highest perception value, and enemy characters usually only have a perception of 0, but they may have skills that boost this up to a higher value, and the ADP, when playing against the artificial dark player, always the creature with the highest amount of perception is used for the initiative roll. Whether it's standing in the line in the almost background, it's not important. The creature with the highest amount. So let's enhance this example. We don't only have those Barian warriors. We also have a direwolf, and the direwolf has an perception of for initiative of +1, because he has the skill sharp senses, and so even if we are putting him over here in the last line, he would be the one to roll perception against. Otherwise, if we would play against a human dark player and he would place those guys over here, then we have to roll against one of these barbarian ladies, because you take the one with who is nearest to the hero who revealed the section. So, but we are playing against an ADP. We make a test in perception against the direwolf here in the background, and dark is for the dark player, white is for the white bright heroes, and let's make a roll. Let's see if this works perfectly as always in my demo plays. This isn't good. Alright. Lanak is a small goblin, and small characters, if you have already watched the video with the heights of characters, you will know the differences between all of those guys are average. Even the direwolf, Lanak is the only one who's small, and I've got the skill card for small characters here, and small characters always have a +1 to their perception. Like the wolf always has has his sharp senses skill and has +1. He also Lanak also has a +1 for perception because of his skill small, and Lanak has more cool skills like Hunter. He's also getting a bonus of +1 for perception, and he has Eagle Eye. He will also get a +1 for perception. So Lanak has a +3 in perception, and the direwolf has a +1. Alright, we use the 7 and add the bonus of Lanak of +3. We're going to 10. We have an 11 +1 for the direwolf, plus +1 for sharp senses, so we have a 12. This is the direwolf has 1. And what happens now? The end of the turn of the heroes has come. Even if Croxer could have made another move, in the moment you're revealing a new section by exploration, and you have rolled initiative. The heroes losing the initiative, the whole turn for them is over. Even if Lanak was the first one in the row, and there you have 5 other heroes or mercenaries who could have moved, it's over for them. The dark player's turn begins now. So he can move all of his characters, and yeah, they will probably beat the shit out of Lanak. I'm sorry for my rude words. This is a problem. That's why you always should do everything to avoid the situation, because what would happen now? all these guys are walking forward, so they're placing here. This guy maybe here, attacking. No, attacking there is not possible, I guess. They gather up here and they will attack, and so this could be a good position. Yeah, and they could attack the heroes, and then the heroes have to defend, and all of these guys could attack poor Larnak, and yeah, we don't want to have this situation anyway. So we have to win the situation. This is one of the reasons you have. You should always doing the exploration part a hero who has a positive initiative value and a positive perception value, so he's the chance to win the initiative for sure. Because yeah, like we've seen, losing is a very bad and could end very bad to this poor guy. And if Croxer would have done the exploration, Croxer has a -1 on his perception value because he's wearing a heavy armor, and he's getting a penalty of 1, and so he would have an even better starting, an even worse starting position against these guys. The Direwolf with this +1, Croxer with this -1. This is even worse than the situation with Larnak at the front. And I've already told this in another video. Most of the dungeon crawlers I know, even if it's a PC video game or if it's a board game, the main strategy is always letting the tank running to the front, because he's the tank, he's the warrior. But in Dungeon Universalis, it may be a real problem. You always have to think about it. What's better, to leave the low armored and not very skilled combatant like Larnak in the front, but he has a higher perception. He may win the initiative, and or letting the warrior at the front, but he will almost always lose the perception, the initiative roll. So he may take all the damage, okay, but he will probably never or rarely win the initiative value. So you have to think about it. And in my experience, or how I am playing, I'm doing everything to let Larnak do this. Okay, so what could we do now to avoid this? We have fortune points like these. And we could spend it to reroll. Now we can think about, we can force the dark player to reroll his dice, or we could reroll our dice. We have a 7 plus the 3 of Larnak, so we have a 10. And I think it's a better idea to reroll the dark player's dice. Let's see. Alright, let's pretend this is the result and the heroes would have won. And now, and the opposite of that, our turn is over. If we're winning the initiative roll, we have for the heroes another turn, another full turn is starting now. So that means if even if we have 5 heroes in our party, and they all except Larnak have already moved in their current turn. Larnak is the last one. He's revealing a new section. The new enemies are spawning. We are rolling for initiative. We are winning the initiative, and then a full turn starts. So all heroes, even Larnak, can make a new turn. And the dark player won't get an achievement point because a new round starts for the heroes, and all of them can move again. And that's also a big benefit and a big reason why you should always try to win the initiative roll. With fortune, with explorers, with a high perception value, and do everything so you can win the initiative. So the heroes could now go around here and could attack on their own. They can drink potions to power up. They can change their weapons. Larnak has a short bow, but he also has a scimitar. He could change it to so he's better in defense against these enemies. So all these things are really important, that you can do it. You don't can make it if the enemies are winning the initiative. All right. We said we have won the initiative, or rolled the initiative against the direwolf. We have a 3 and a 4, and the direwolf has an intelligence value, and that's why I got confused at the beginning of the initiative explanation. Here's an intelligence of 1, and another rule of winning the initiative or rolling the initiative is if you're winning, if the side who's winning the initiative roll can make benefit of the rule called oh, sorry, it's late. Caught by surprise. That means if they're winning the initiative roll, and if both of their dice they have rolled is higher than the intelligence value of the guy who made the test on the opposite side. So in this case, it's the direwolf. We rolled against the direwolf. We have 1, so we have to have results higher than 1. That's easy. On the other side, if we had rolled against the warrior, they had a 4. Not both of the dice are higher than 4. Then the rule caught by surprise couldn't be applied. But we have rolled against the direwolf. We have exceeded this, its intelligence value, and now we can take benefit from the rule caught by surprise, and that means we can move any character of the enemy enemies within 6 squares from the one who revealed the section. So this is Larnak, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if you're going around the corner correctly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of these guys are affected by caught by surprise, and now we can do the following: we can move any of these guys in any direction we want to for 1 square, except there's an obstacle, so we obviously can let them move to the same field, or if here's a bonfire or something, or a column, you can move them to there. But we can now move any one of them in the direction, and so we don't have to walk this far. Croxer over here can only move 4 squares by default, because he's wearing heavy armor, so he couldn't reach. He could have reached 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, he could have reached over. Let's pretend Croxer was starting here, so he couldn't have reached them by default. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a square left, but we have caught by surprise, so we move them in the direction of our heroes, and now 1, 2, 3, or 1, 3. Now he can reach them. Even from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is great. There are any other benefits when I'm showing you the room. There will be another benefits we can take from, and what we can do also next to or in addition to move them 1 square in any direction, we can change their facing. Once again, here's a back. And if you've watched the previous video where I was talking about front and the back of a hero or of a character, you know it's a difference where the miniature is or the standee is looking at, and those guys are looking in this direction. But now we can change the facing of them because we have caught them by surprise. They were staring at the end of the corridor in the moment we have explored the news section, and now all of them are watching into this direction. And that means if we are going to attack them in melee or by shooting, we will get a +1 on our combat skills. I can show you this on the reference sheets here. This is melee combat. We have some modifiers. We have attack from the back, +1 to the attack. And if they have a shield equipped, they couldn't use it when you're attacking them from the back. And even for shooting, you will get a attack from the back +1, which is great. Magic is accepted from this. There isn't a benefit, and for attacking from the back, but shooting and melee is great. So we will have a deeper look at what is attacking from behind in one of the next videos, because there's a limitation. But for this moment in this video and the initiative, everything's fine now. We have changed the facing. We have pulled them towards to us, so we have don't have to use to take so much movement to reach them, and this is great. So let's have a fast look when exploring rooms. I'll reset this and put the guys over here again. So let's say Crocs is waiting here. Larnak is waiting here. Larnak wants to open the door. The dark player could play an obstacle. We are ignoring this at the moment. And so the new section is revealed. We are opening the door but flipping it. It's open now. It's the same procedure, not as every year but as before. We are rolling the scenario die. And if we have an encounter icon, we will spawn the guys. We are looking at the placing creatures card again, or in the rulebook, and we are placing the creatures. I'm not taking care if this is the right way to place them. This isn't important for this. We will have a look later. Turn this around. Whoa, that's a great idea. I should have done this with the corridor. Right, now we are facing them. And this is the same. I'll do just for a small repeat, whatever. To do it again. Alright, we would do the roll against, if you're playing against the ADP, against the one with the highest perception value. It's the dire wolf again, and it's all exactly the same. We have won the roll because we have a 6. It's both, all of them are exceeding, except now it's clear. And we also could do caught by surprise. And once again, why it's the same, but maybe it's more impressive to do it from here now. If we lose the initiative against these guys, they will pull us into the room. They will change. We are all of us are all of the heroes are in range of 6 squares. So if they have a good roll, 6 and 5, they are exceeding the intelligence value of Larnak with 3. We have lost the initiative. We haven't any fortune left, or we don't want to spend it. Whatever we should do that. Now they can do caught by surprise. The ADP will always do, and I guess the dark player also will change the facing of those guys. So they're watching here, over here, and now they are pulled into the room. So those guys don't have to walk so many squares, and they will all come over here, and they will all bang their weapons onto poor Larnak's head. And this is even a more problem if we have only a single door. I'll have one over here. Let's pretend this would have been a single door. Everything's fine until now. We have lost the initiative. Oh my god. Larnak was all of them. The facing of all of them is changed, and so they're coming from the back, the enemies, and Larnak is pulled 1 square into the room. Crocs are maybe here. And then all of those guys are gathering around the small goblin and beating him to death. They are attacking from behind. Not if they're here, but if they're here, they are attacking from behind. Croxer couldn't enter the room. In any case, if the guys are standing where they're standing, he cannot enter the room because Larnak is blocking. He would have the melee range would have to end here, but he's blocking this field. Even if if Larnak will survive the first round after all of those guys have attacked, Croxer couldn't enter the room, and this is a pretty bad situation. You don't want to have this in any case because you can you can say goodbye to your character in almost any cases, and that's why it's so important to win the initiative. And what I wanted to show you, we have my beauty shard mind female character here over here. This is Crix, a shard mind wizard. It's a female, but it's a male proxy. We'll look over it. So how do you can benefit from initiative as well with the Caught by Surprise. Larnak has opened the door. We have won the initiative. Everything is fine. She's standing behind Larnak. She's a wizard. She has magic projectile spells. She can shoot into the room, and we have the possibility to take benefit from Caught by Surprise. We have changed the facing again. This is great. And now, instead of pulling them towards to us, we also could pulling them towards to us, but also diagonally, or just put them in a row. And now we can let Crix start and blast a fireball into the room, or ice arrows, or any other spell who has an area of effect. So you're targeting this guy, and depending on the spell you're casting, maybe all adjacent characters could have taken will take also damage, which isn't possible if they have a square excuse me, a square between them. But so by Caught by Surprise, you can gather them in one row without space, and then you can cast a magic projectile or any area related spell against the one in the middle, and the other ones would suffer damage too, which is obviously great. Even if we haven't talked about combat in detail, you excuse me, you should see this is a great option. Which is a reason again to always win the initiative. And I guess that's all for now. I think I haven't missed an important thing. If I do so, I will put it in the comments or in the description. If you find a mistake I've made, please do the same. And in the next video we are talking about other combat basics, combat basics that are not specifically for one type of combat, like ranged combat or melee combat or magic combat. And after that we are going to all of these specific types, and I hope you will watch the videos again. Please rate the videos up or down if you like or dislike them, so I can see if I'm doing my job well. And yeah, subscribe if you like. And I'm going to do an epic event or a dungeon crawl, so you can see all that those stuff I'm telling you in practice. And yes, I hope we'll see again, or you're turning on again. So have a great day. Bye. Hello once again. When I've said I haven't missed a thing, I was wrong, totally wrong. We haven't seen the the case when they are spawning new enemies if you're already in a combat. So let's pretend to make it short. We have a section over here, an already explored section, which is not the same section as this one, and the dark player or the ADP plays the card Reinforcements. Reinforcements let the ADP or the DP spawn creatures in an already explored section next to one of the section where the heroes in. Let's pretend this is the one, and we are spawning heroes here. Over here, a grumpy orc. He spawned over here. And let's say Crix is waiting here. So the combat is already running, and there are reinforcements coming, or an ambush or something. And this guy has been placed by the artificial dark player or the dark player, and now an initiative roll has to be made, like the one when you're revealing a new section, but it has to be made by the hero's character who's next to the new guys coming over from here, and the nearest one from over here. Let's say there's a dog accompanying the orc, so you have to make a roll against the characters who are next to each other. Crix and the orc guy here, they do an opposing roll. And let's see. Very good result. There's a tie. We have 10 in the both. Both have, he has a 0, Crix is bad, she has a 0. And there's a tie. If there's a tie, you always have a look at the intelligence value. I don't have a card for the orc. Let's pretend the orc have an intelligence of 3. Crix has an intelligence of 5, so she's winning initiative. And if this happens, if the heroes are winning, those guys can be activated by the dark player. For now, he's playing the reinforcements or the ambush card, and if he's winning the initiative, he could immediately activate those guys over here, letting run here and beating Crix to death. If they are losing the initiative and the heroes are winning the initiative, those guys have to wait until the next dark player's turn to activate, and they can't activate now. They're just standing there. The heroes could walk over there and make them a very warm welcome with a huge fireball, or casting an elementary, or placing an ice wall to cut their way off, or something else. And this is also a good situation where you always should win the initiative, but it's harder to win because it's not Lanak here with his +3 in perception rolling for the initiative. It's those guys over here who have to make the perception roll, opposing roll, and Crix isn't good at this. Even worse, if Croxer with his -1 would have stayed over here, that's an even worse starting position for the opposing roll with -1 against the 0. So yes, this will always happen if there are coming reinforcements or ambush or new enemies by any event that can occur. You will have to do new initiative rolls, and if the dark players are winning, they could activate immediately. If the heroes are winning, they couldn't. The heroes will proceed with their turn, and until the dark players turns again. And that's it. That's what I've missed. And yes, I'll make it short now. See you again soon. Bye.